Good evening, Ken at Tortoise Capital, nightly strategy podcast for December 6th, 2023. This is the current schedule for the Research 2023 workshop. Tomorrow we've got Phil Wu and Sundeep Gupta with a couple pretty interesting sessions. I've got one from 7 to 8, which is the regular Foundations Q&A. And got a couple questions from the team to cover, so we'll roll right into that. And then that'll roll right into the nightly podcast. And then Griff Cooper and Jim Carroll on Friday at 12 to 1:30, and then from 3 to 4 Central. Saturday, Tom Hardison and Kyun Wade from 11 to 12, and then 12 to 1. And Sunday, Hamad Sajwani, along with the Foundation's briefing. So we've got a full week ahead of us here. We still got some more guys that we're doing the final coordination on to get their material uploaded and posted, but we'll keep this updated as we go. Remember, if you're a Research 2023 participant, you get access to about 150 hours of the best of previous research workshops over the past 10 to 12 years, and lifetime access to all that material. You get the briefings, the resource materials, and the recorded Q&As, and starting in January, Monday night office hours with me to cover any of the questions you might have on any specific material from the research. So that's like 50 some sessions of office hours with me. We actually did one of those this week to get started, but you get a full year of that, so it's a pretty good deal. Send me an email if interested, and we'll get you squared away. All right, let's go to the hybrid workshop, or the hybrid swing trading. And as always, we're on the 30-minute bars, starting with Alcoa. Oops, that was EWZ, sorry. Let's start at the beginning, So today was a continuation of the rollover and sell-off in the broader market. Now, some symbols like Alcoa already have had 2 days of selling, and then today was a continuation of that. So on the rollover, we took the 1, 2, 3 short. That's an owl entry short, and captured 2R near the close on weakness in the metals. AI had bad earnings, so we took the PSAR flip, another owl entry. We're holding 3R at the close, and it was selling off more in the after hours, so I'm expecting a downward move at the opening tomorrow. So that's the reason to hold that one overnight. Amazon, 2R on a PSAR flip. Caterpillar, 1, 2, 3, 4R on a 1, 2, 3 short. That one really paid off. I didn't want to hold it overnight though. Cliff, 3R on a PSAR flip. CVS was an emerging dragon. This was one on the long side that worked. The rest of the market was selling off here, and this one was just sideways, so I felt like rather than wait for it to collapse, I just collected 4R. And I will target this one as a winner for tomorrow. If the market is good and this is still good, then that's going to make a nice COTA 2 continuation. But we'll take 4R in hand. Disney, 1R on a COTA 2. Dish Network, tried a gap and go, and it just failed for a scratch. Devon Energy. This was a continuation of yesterday's collapsing dragon short. So I didn't add a second position, thought about it, but we cashed 3R around lunchtime, and that's a pretty good negative move in energy. Electronic Arts was a roller coaster for about an hour on some tactical trading. Um, that's no, that is no place for a nervous person. So this was a harsh sell-off, then a 1-2-3 reversal, entering at this edge of the dragon, a huge run-up, and then gave back way too much. But it was interesting. Emerging markets. So we got short on a 1-2-3 entry on the short side, holding 2R, and I'm seeing so much weakness in the market, so I'm expecting a gap down tomorrow. Ethereum, we just closed the multi-day long trade for 6R. I'm liking that one. It continued to sell off, but I'm not trading the currency directly. Mexico, a 2-day 3R gain that we took the exit at the skin of the dragon in the usual way. Brazil, PSAR flip, short for 1R, no overnight risk. Intel, 1R on a collapsing dragon, and no overnight risk. I was worried about tech having a rebound tomorrow. IP, no trade. Real estate, we're short on a 1-2-3. This was testing the collapsing dragon, and I think there's a good chance of more pain and suffering tomorrow, and it just went into owl status, so this could very easily come back to 85. So holding that one overnight. Coca-Cola, no trade. Regional banks, short on a 1-2-3, holding 4R. Mattel, we covered the short for 1R. I didn't get the afternoon play on it. There was a span of control. McDonald's got a fraction on the short early, but then it stabilized pretty well. Merck, we covered the long for 2R, and then it stabilized into a sideways quiet channel. That actually was relatively strong for the day. McDonald's, or I'm sorry, pardon me, Microsoft, we covered the long, and it just kind of grinded sideways. That's why I'm thinking there can be a recovery tomorrow in tech. Marijuana, another roller coaster for a fraction. Too volatile to stay with it. Nvidia, we covered the long. It rolled over into a owl short on a PSAR flip, and it's holding 2R overnight. Clean energy, short for 2R and holding it overnight. Rivian, so we covered the short, which was, it had 1R in hand, but it gapped, and so we ended up scratching. When it continued into an emerging dragon, we got long and captured 3R on a 1-2-3 exit. The S&P was just gapped way up and then sold way off all day. That's the first sign of really serious weakness after this long sideways channel. Treasuries continued to gain. I didn't trade it, but a trade was there. Tesla took the short on the owl for 1R and not holding that overnight. Walmart covered the long for 2R and stabilized nicely. I think it's ready to recover tomorrow. And then finally, U.S. Steel for 1R on a collapsing dragon. And maybe I gave back too much on that one, but this was a really good day on the short side. If you were not prepared to be short today, then you have you get some more attention to detail on the nightly podcast, because we've been looking for signs of that weakness, and it followed through today to the short side. Need to be ready to capture those. All right, let's go with STODs. These are the sniper trades of the day. These are all featuring 3-minute charts. So this is like an accelerated turbo kind of action. All right, so this is an OR3. This one gaps up, runs all the way up, closes halfway down the stack, opens and starts selling off like it wants to close the gap back to here. So we start with a standard short at the OR3. Check or hold. My target is that it's going to come back to yesterday's close. It scratches, so I stop and reverse. By this time, you should be at no lose plus dinner for two. Performing nicely. The RL10 rolls over. When this rolls over, that RL10 peaks, then I activate the dragon skin exit. So we get the exit right in here. And then on 1 unit of risk, we make about 2R. Check or hold. Continuing weakness. There's a collapsing dragon and a Kata 2 and a violation of the PSAR, the VWAP and the Bollinger Band mean. There's like 4 strong signals in this one setup right here. You have the lower highs, you have the violation of the belly of the RL10, so that's a collapsing dragon. You have the VWAP, which is getting violated to the downside, meaning it could come back to here. And you have the reversion to the mean, and it's breaking through the Bollinger Band mean in the middle of the river. So there's 4 reasons to get short on that one. Plus you have the dragon is rolled over and the RL30 is rolled over, so it's an owl. So that's 5 solid reasons to get short right there. And I covered it for a no lose plus dinner for 2. When it didn't get back into the yellow zone there and it rejected the top of the dragon, I re-entered, so that's as if I hadn't exited. So that's just a quick re-entry. And then it ended up giving us 1R with a standard exit at the... So after 2 grinding legs down, and I really looked at this one and said, look, it's had that much time and it did not fail. And the time that it did fail, it reversed quickly. So let's just cash 1. That was in real estate, and it was coming into the lunch hour. So that's about 3R in the real estate ETF. Here's one on NVIDIA. So this is an OR3, and it is short. Check or hold. Two legs down, PSAR flip, cashing about 3R. Re-entered short, cashing another 1R, so that's about 4R into the lunch hour. Normal business. Notice all of the price is well below the VWAP the whole way down, so I have a negative bias. This one is a collapsing dragon going into the lunch. Second position on a 2R battle drill and the second collapsing dragon. And then standard exit at the skin of the dragon for 4R on the set. Check or hold. The downward moves on a day like today are just straightforward, like falling water. Here's Ilker with 6R on, what is this symbol here? This is the futures on a Turkish steel company in Turkey. He gets the collapsing dragon, 2R battle drill, standard exit, 6R. Here's Hamad with 2R in the usual way on the euro, doing a nice job of avoiding the chop early and playing with that result right there and staying out of the chop. Really nice work. He gets a fraction on the early morning chop, so he's improving his risk management there. Maybe some over trading here in Intel, but the waves were so small that he got chopped around a little bit. But he makes it back in Tesla for 1.4. He's on the right side of the angels on that one the whole way. George gets paid about 1.5, missing these two bigger moves down, but still gets paid nicely in here twice, and that looks pretty good. Some good work here from Kevin, who is refining his trading plan standards and disciplining himself in execution and setting up a 30 trade test run of his rules and his discipline. He gets paid for 0.8 on DIA, gets on the right side of the angels here. And this is not a risky short, by the way. By this time, the S&P was already failing large. And remember, the S&P had started way high and sold off hard. This is not a risky trade on the short side right there. And then he makes 0.4 on some carefully measured shots on the downward slide here in Brazil. Really nice work here all the way through for 1.2. On the daily reports, oops, let's get this back up to the top. You can see we've had a 10-day sideways quiet channel, and then the price is that black line. It really closed at the bottom of the range, and it's Fisher cut bait time on that 10-day low. If that breaks, look for it to come back and test 445, and if that fails, it's all the way back to 435. So this is starting to get a little troublesome. And you can see that in today's trade, the S&P started way up here at the top, and it was just massive sell-off all day, closing at the low of the day down here. Still bullish, quiet, 2-day and 10-day weakness. Volatility is starting to show possibilities of big moves in both directions. Boeing was good, but real weakness in Devon Energy and ExxonMobil. So the energy sector is starting to show weakness. We've got 4 symbols on the auto framer, better than 2 to 1. Pretty good targets in there. In the ETF tactical, weakness in agriculture, oil, and the energy sector itself, strength in treasuries and marijuana, but otherwise a grinding kind of a day and showing weakness. More symbols on the auto framer as they're starting to creep in. Disney, Intel, ExxonMobil really are attractive. Only 4 squeezes today, including Merck. Now most of the symbols have rolled over into the fall as broad market weakness is hitting us. And I'm looking for more of that tomorrow. Very few breakouts today, lots of breakdowns and weaknesses on the 2-day and 10-day. Standard work here for the intraday traders that have a combination of consistency and very large average moves. Marijuana, Tesla, Clean Energy, Nvidia, Devon Energy, Intel, all the usual suspects. This is the concern area I have here. The the 30-period regression line is still strong because of this strong move here, but the last 10 days of sideways have made the parabolic RL10 roll over. We're now crossing the 10-period moving average at 2 sigma, and that has always been an indicator of a reversal of fortunes. The price action has already moved. So, guys, we've had plenty of warning on this. Don't get caught with your pants down. This is troublesome. Also, the RL90 has started to roll over, and the 30 already has, and the 10 has come all the way back to the 0 line. So all of the joy is over. That's what rollover looks like. The last time it did all of this. Now you would expect to see some support in here and here and here before it gets all the way down there. But this is what the start of that rollover looks like. So let's be prepared for reversals of fortune and protecting our capital. All right, that's everything for today. We'll get this published and posted. Looking forward to the Research 2023 tomorrow. And back to work. Take good care.